New York City was brought to a standstill by a record-breaking downpour, unleashing floods that inundated streets, basements, schools, and subways. The floodwaters rose so rapidly that some commuters were caught off guard as they entered the subway during rush hour. Emergency responders swiftly sprang into action, rescuing individuals from stranded vehicles and basements that were filling up like bathtubs. John F. Kennedy International Airport in New York received nearly 20 centimeters of rainfall in a single day, an occurrence not seen since 1948. In just 3 hours, Brooklyn experienced the equivalent of a month's worth of rainfall.
Oh, fuck no. Hey, yo, let us out. Look at this. Look at this. Look at these cars. Look at this. Look at that car. You can't see it because it's completely inundated.
Your trash is literally floating down the street. And so it begins. It was the end of times in New York City. Thanks to Mayor Adams, Joe Biden.
To India has been postponed too. The briefing agreement talks were seen as a sign that India-Canada ties actually were getting better. Suhasan Haidar is the diplomatic editor of prominent Indian newspaper, The Hindu.
Have to show you guys this car stuff. Oh my god, this is the Sawmill River.
Scientists attribute these heavy downpours to climate change, as a warmer atmosphere can absorb more water vapor and release it in intense bursts that can overwhelm outdated flood control systems. By late afternoon, New York City had received between 7 and 15 centimeters of rainfall. The governor declared a state of emergency for the city and its surrounding areas, urging residents to stay home. According to the New York City Fire Department, officers conducted rescue operations in 6 flooded basements in the city. Water also seeped into the basements of 150 out of 1,400 schools. In Brooklyn, one school was evacuated due to flooding that led to a boiler catching fire. The subway system and railroad tracks were submerged by floodwater, causing major disruptions, including suspensions on 10 Brooklyn subway lines and all 3 Metro North lines. To address the train disruptions, extra buses were deployed by city officials. Flight delays affected all 3 major New York City airports, with LaGuardia Airport's Marine Terminal building temporarily closed due to trapped water.
Deze is af een bas. Ik laag maar mooi af. Dus kick-off days. Wow, was guy before. Wow.
Okay. Total washout.
I know. So this just happened. Heard it, a giant cracking sound outside our, oh man, apartment here in Brooklyn.
Residents of Istanbul have been urgently advised to evacuate their homes. particularly those living on lower floors and in semi-basements. Turkey's largest city is bracing for another round of heavy rains, following extensive flooding experienced the previous day. The deluge in Istanbul was so severe that streets were submerged, leading to the submersion of vehicles and even their displacement by powerful currents in some areas. People were forced to cling to fences and trees to remain upright, and businesses, shops, intersections, and subway stations were submerged, causing traffic chaos in various parts of the city.
Abi içeri girer misiniz? Kapıyı örtüler, kapatmamı istiyorlar.
Similar flooding was observed in neighboring districts of Istanbul. Meteorologists are forecasting continued rainfall in the coming days, with the expectation of heavy precipitation covering most of the country by Sunday. This inclement weather is affecting southeastern Europe as well, with Greece and Bulgaria experiencing similar challenges. The heavy rains in Turkey are attributed to the impact of Storm Elias, which previously affected Greece and prompted the evacuation of over 3,000 people in the Greek province of Thessaly due to the downpours. The Ibiko volcano on the Kuril island of Paramoushir has once again become active, emitting a significant column of ash. This renewed activity was observed on Friday afternoon when the volcano ejected an ash column, reaching approximately 3 kilometers in height. The ash plume dispersed in a northeastern direction, covering a distance of more than 5 kilometers. The town of Severokurilska, situated 7 kilometers from the Ibiko volcano, did not experience any ashfall. Local residents have mentioned that such volcanic activity has become a regular occurrence for them, as the Ibiko volcano has been in a state of continuous eruption since 2016. On the night of September 28th, Greece was hit by a powerful storm named Elias, bringing with it heavy rains and hail. The impact of the storm was felt across various regions, including the islands of Crete and Euboea, the Peloponnese Peninsula, western and central Greece, and Attica. The city of Volos, situated on the coast of the Gulf of Pagasidikos in the Aegean Sea, bore the brunt of the storm's fury. Widespread power outages attributed to the storm left 80% of the town in darkness. Despite being flooded, the local hospital continued to operate. The streets of Volos were submerged in water, and the floodwaters swept away cars. Numerous residential areas and hundreds of homes were inundated. City authorities reported the evacuation of 3,500 residents, with rescuers saving an additional 250 individuals. In response to the crisis, a curfew was imposed in Volos, and movement within the city was restricted. At least 8 villages surrounding the city also experienced flooding.
Αυτό είναι το δικό μου, να ξέρετε. Άμα σταματήσει εδώ, τα έχει πάρει όλα. Κοίτα ο άλλος, κοίτα. Αυτό το αμάξι είναι εδώ, ρε πλάκα.
This marks the second major weather event to hit Greece within a month. Previously, the country faced the impact of Storm Daniel, which resulted in 17 fatalities, extensive crop damage, and the loss of tens of thousands of farm animals. Greece's meteorological service reported that one village in the Pelion region received 75 centimeters of rainfall, the highest level recorded since 2006. The Greek government estimated the damage caused by Hurricane Daniel to exceed €2 billion, with nearly 700 million euros allocated solely for infrastructure repairs. The Western Cape province of the Republic of South Africa has been struck by heavy rains and flooding. This natural disaster follows stronger than usual spring tides, as reported by the South African Meteorological Service. The deluge brought 194 millimeters of rain to Stellenbosch, a prominent wine-producing region in the country, and 134 millimeters to Jonkershoek. This amount is more than 1.5 times the previous high recorded in September 1976, which stood at 85 millimeters. The Prime Minister has expressed concerns that this flooding event could be the most destructive in the region over the past century.
En die mense wat ons nou gehelp het. Richard thuis.
This is Larry, this is the bridge. I'm standing on the edge of the bridge here. Look at the whole thing, it's totally...
The heavy rains have led to the closure of major routes to Cape Town, a coastal city with a population of 4 million. Additionally, they have caused damage to local wheat crops, bridges, and industrial infrastructure in the affected areas. Intense rainfall resulting from a tropical depression has battered northern and north-central regions of Vietnam, leading to widespread flooding and significant disruptions in transportation. The heavy downpours have prompted authorities to issue landslide warnings across various areas due to the relentless precipitation. In the city of Hanoi, where certain areas received as much as 250 millimeters of rainfall, traffic was severely affected today, forcing numerous drivers to abandon their vehicles on waterlogged streets. Vietnam is susceptible to severe storms and flooding, with Hanoi facing particular challenges as its road and drainage infrastructure struggles to keep up with rapid population growth, resulting in frequent instances of flooding.
Ô tô trôi về đây, ô tô trôi về đây. Ô tô trôi chạy nha, chạy nha, chạy đây. Chạy đây. Chạy đây.